Alright, we're back. Alright, so, back to the wheel. Accused Takabara on day 75. Alright. Now, thankfully, these are going to be all really short ones to do because the text changed. Like, it doesn't change much except for the initial text, so we could just go straight back to the wheel. But I thought it would be funny just to add all these to the wheel anyway. Real killer is you, Takamaru Yokoshiji. You mess with me now? Tell me how I did it. No, I did then. But allow me to explain. You did what you very similar to you guys. Yep. Alright, well, back to the wheel.
That went fast.
Yeah, because these all go down to the same route, which is just other. Like, it's just the initial text is all that's different. So, lols. So, spin the wheel again. Accused Moko on day 50.
Not muscle, mommy.
Alright, so. Bertha killed Nako and Dashoma. It was you! Real killer is you, Moko Mojiro. Are you nuts? How Blue Blazer could I have done this? Mr. Samino, that is not physically possible. We all watched the drone footage together, remember? The bends are too narrow for someone of Miss Mojiro's size to pass through. I'm guessing you're the killer, because if you could frame someone else, everyone starts to relax and it makes it easier for you to kill the killer. I agreed. I'm thinking the same thing. One after another, the others started voicing their agreement, and I found myself unable to offer any rebuttal. You leave us no choice but to lock you in. Wait, this was a mistake. I was just kidding, man. I was just kidding.
It's just a prank, bro.
In the end, I was detained by the others and locked inside the cage in the courtyard. What possessed me to even say that? I couldn't remember, but it was too late for regrets. I had no strength to even sigh. It was only a little while later my consciousness fled from me.
Alright, I'm gonna... Oh. I thought I was gonna go to 100 again.
Nope. I had no idea how long I was unconscious. Then when I opened my eyes, I saw the cage had been unlocked. Unsure what that meant, I pushed the door and nervously stepped outside. It was eerily silent all around. There were no signs of life anywhere. Wondering where everyone had gone, I decided to walk around the campus and search for them. I went to the garage on the ground floor, opened the door, and stepped inside. And I found
Takumi!
I hadn't even needed to check. She was clearly already gone. I went closer and touched her arm anyway. Scaly and dry to the touch. It had been quite a while since she passed. I checked her back and saw a large gaping hole there. Her heart had been removed through her back.
Why would someone do this?
Put that disturbing thought aside and quickly continued searching for the others. My next destination was the library. As soon as I entered, I saw
Yoshika!
I checked her body. She wasn't breathing and had no pulse. Judging from how cold she felt, I knew she had died a while back as well. I flipped her body around gingerly. Her back was still intact. Her heart hadn't been stolen. I decided to search all the classrooms thoroughly. Then I checked the first floor, second floor, and third floor. Even checked the roof. There was nobody to be found. My last destination was the gym. The moment I opened the door, I could hardly believe my eyes.
What happened here?
I checked everybody's bodies. They were all cold to the touch, just like Darmy and
No,
Yoshika.
wait. Maybe.
Clinging to a ray of hope, I moved everybody to the infirmary, but... yeah. Too much time had passed since death, impossible to revive, was all the monitor would display. I felt the sound of my heart breaking when those words flashed across the screen for the 6th time. I felt nothing, not even sadness or despair. Simply turned over their dead bodies mechanically and motionlessly. Mirko, Tsubasa, and Ima's hearts had been dug out of their backs. Karara, Moko, and Gano's backs remained intact, but I was no longer capable of reasoning this through. My mental faculties had taken over by a thick, impenetrable fog. They left the building and walked around the back. What greeted me there was a familiar sight.
Shoma.
The sight of a dead body that had been divested of its heart. I wondered where my own heart had gone. I could no longer feel it beating, like it had stopped. I felt like time had stopped, like the world had stopped. Everything had stopped. But time had not stopped, as proven by the gradual darkening of my surroundings. I wandered around the academy with no purpose until I finally stumbled upon the 10th dead body. To be more precise, the 10th and 11th dead bodies.
Ava.
I checked Takemaru's back. His hair had been taken, ripped out of his body. Ava's back was untouched. No other part of her body had been cut either. I stood rooted to the spot in a daze for quite some time. Then a passing soundless breeze blew past. The breeze jolted me to my senses, and the gears in my head started turning. 11? I was put in the cage on day 50. How many survivors were there at that time? I said to myself, there were. The very next moment, a great amount of blood suddenly started spurting out of my neck. I understood for the first time that in that moment that I was still alive. At the same time, I realized I would be dead in 2 seconds. I had no way of telling if that prediction of mine came true or not, because by then my existence had already been erased from the world. I think all that was left was Nozomi at that point.
Yeah.
Lost in darkness.
All alone.
Oh, back to the wheel! Okay. Accuse Tsubasa on day 75.
Accuse Akane.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Alright. It was you! The real killer is you, Tsubasa Kawano. Wait a minute, are you out of your mind? How is that even possible? Very well, allow me to explain. What you did was, it's very simple, you were. Back to the wheel. And spin it. I don't know why I had a Who Killed Shoma thing on day 75. I think I left that when I was trying to... Okay, I think that's a wash. That one was just left over from when I was doing things, so... Accuse Karara on day 50. Man, you could just give it on day 75 so we don't have to keep going back and forth like this.
Yeah. Like, seriously.
Dang wheels. Always turning.
You're making me look bad.
Anyway, Kurara. Real killer is you, Kurara Suzuki. Excuse me, you've got to be having a screw loose somewhere. It's not possible, Suzuki. Remember what we saw in the drone footage together? The bends and the ventilation shafts are too narrow for someone of Kurara's size to pass through.
Ah.
Okay, so you're the killer, Takumi. Alright, back